In today's presentation, we will be focusing on emerging trends in educational technology. We will be looking specifically at the trend coding as a literacy, along with the benefits and challenges of this emerging trend. What is coding? According to NCM and COSM, coding refers to a list of rules written in one of numerous programming languages that instructs a computer to do what a user wants it to do. Coding is a growing necessity for many jobs, especially in the field of computer science. Many teachers are choosing to teach coding in the classroom to create a knowledge of coding for students. Although coding is not used in every job, more and more jobs are requiring knowledge of coding even outside of the technological work fields. NCM and COSM state many educators believe that coding helps children to understand how computers work, to communicate their thoughts through structure and logic, to think critically, and to be successful in the increasingly digital workplace. Students need to understand how to function growing up in a world that is becoming increasingly digital. Currently, there are approximately 500,000 unfilled computing jobs because the computing occupation is growing so rapidly. This is according to NCM and COSM 2017. NCM and COSM also state that approximately 65% of students entering school today will be working jobs that do not currently exist. The need for students to grow and apply their 21st century skills is higher than ever. Coding is a way for students to do just that. What are the benefits of coding in the classroom? Benefits include building 21st century skills such as problem solving, critical thinking, innovation, and collaboration. These are skills that are crucial to student success, both in and out of the classroom. It supports students growing up in the 21st century by reinforcing these skills. Coding also supports computer science knowledge, which is a growing field. Many more jobs will be created in the computer science field as we continue in the 21st century that is becoming more and more technologically advanced. Another benefit is that coding is becoming a common language. According to NCM and COSM, Florida is the first state in the U.S. to allow coding to fulfill the foreign language requirement for high school graduation. It is becoming so common because many jobs, and not just technology-based jobs, are requiring coding knowledge, making it a huge benefit for integrating it into classrooms. Finally, it also integrates verbal and mathematical skills, combining multiple subjects together. While there are many benefits to integrating coding in the classroom, it also comes with some challenges. When beginning to integrate anything new, there are challenges. The challenges for integrating coding are first that it requires teacher training. Majority of teachers do not know how to code and will need to be trained on it to successfully implement it into curriculum. Next is it takes time to implement fully into the classroom, just like it does with implementing any new thing. Teachers and leadership will need to be patient during this process. The entire school must also have the technology needed to implement coding, such as computers, laptops, or tablets. Grades 3 through 6 at our school all have their own Chromebooks, but the primary grades do not have the same 1-to-1 ratio of technology. Teachers may need to brainstorm ways to make this work for them in their classroom, depending on what type of technology they have access to. It will also be important to remember that this process can be frustrating for students because it is like learning a new language. It is a challenge for them, and it will take time to learn and adapt. Lastly, according to Williams, it may not be developmentally appropriate for all grade levels. It may be decided that only intermediate grades will implement it, depending on each grade level's students and student needs. Why should we implement this trend? The benefits of implementing coding in the classroom outweigh the challenges that are presented. The challenges can be overcome. Our students will greatly benefit from the use of coding as it will prepare them to live and work in the 21st century. Not only will coding give them knowledge that they need and use as they grow up in the 21st century, and it will improve their 21st century skills. This will prepare students for jobs in the future and give them a strong knowledge base for their future careers. Coding is also highly engaging for students and is a great way to increase engagement in the classroom. How do we get started? Implementing coding is not an overnight process, but it can be implemented quickly in 2 ways. The first is through our current robotics club. Many of our students are involved in this large club and are beginning to learn how to code to program their robots. These students, especially the older ones, will be able to help other students with learning to code. Coding can be done in small groups in the classroom. When students learn from each other, it makes learning an even more fun and fulfilling experience for them. The Robotics Club can also hold demonstrations for how they are coding their robots to get more students interested and maybe even up participation in the club. The second way to begin to implement coding is to have every teacher participate in Hour of Code put on by code.org. This is a fun and interactive way for students to begin to learn the basics of coding. Since it is only for an hour, it is also a great way for teachers to try out coding and begin to learn how to teach it to students. Hour of Code would also be a great formative assessment to see how much students already know about coding. By continuing with the Robotics Club and implementing Hour of Code from code.org, we can easily begin to introduce our students to this new language of coding. Taking this process step by step will be important to having successful implementation. Since the benefits outweigh the challenges, implementing coding in the classroom is highly recommended. This educational technology trend is one that can highly benefit students and lead them to find success in using 21st century skills. Coding allows students to practice not only how to program, but also how to problem solve, think critically, be innovative, creative, and collaborate. All of these skills will allow students to find success as they enter the workforce in the 21st century. Coding is a language of the future, and with implementation, our students will be able to speak it soon.